So I'm at the State Department of Education at the Charter Start Workshop, which is essentially all the information that you need to have to start a charter school. If we wanted to start one, all of our board members would have to take this workshop. It's today and tomorrow. It's a massive amount of information. My head is like... and it's a lot of bureaucracy and a lot of the levers that you think you might have starting a charter school you don't actually have. So that's challenging. I'll take it back to the team and kind of see what they think. But I mean, my initial reaction is a lot of discouragement about this, rather than like, I mean, I guess I'm also glad that I know this stuff, but it's like, you know, you don't even have leverage over how many teachers you hire. You know, that's entirely based on a calculation that they do, and then that's your funding. So it's like, if you don't even have leverage over your classroom size, I don't know. So anyway, that's not primarily what I wanted to talk about. Let's see if I can do this next bit in a minute or so. I had this realization yesterday from a funny source, and it was about kind of individual agency and how everyone is an intelligent human being who's capable of making decisions within their sphere of influence. And that's important in business because you don't have to design a perfect system, and there is no such thing as a perfect system anyway. All you have to do is design a system that is based on a good enough idea and convince people that it's a good enough idea so that those people in their individual agency can work within it. So, I mean, the education system is a good example, right? It's not a great system. It doesn't work very well. But a lot of teachers in the system, in their individual agency, have figured out how to educate their kids really effectively. So, another example of that we were having in this conference is I was talking to a guy and I said, fundamentally what we need in the school system is more education and less school, because school is all about the bureaucracy and the regulations and the checks and balances, and education is about learning things. Education is about giving people their agency, giving it back to them, and giving them that freedom to make those decisions for themselves. Anyway, I thought this was funny because I realized this when I was watching a Miyazaki movie last night with Marissa. And then, of course, there was a prophecy in the movie, and one of the characters fulfilled the prophecy. And I've always thought of prophecies as being mystical things in stories, or crazy things if they come from religion, for example. But really, prophecies are this interesting exercise in human agency where someone makes a prediction about the future that has some vague parts and some specific parts, and a person at that point in the future is not they're not operating in a vacuum. They're not operating in an ignorance of the prophecy, except in the movies. But they can actually look at the parameters of that prophecy, and if they have some ambition, they could decide that they should be the person to fulfill that prophecy, and then they go about, you know, enacting whatever motives they have while fulfilling the parameters of that system, essentially. And then they can say, hey, look, I fulfilled that prophecy. So that was kind of an interesting real world, possibly crazy revelation that I had. And it totally makes sense in my head. I don't know if it makes sense in yours. But anyway, I have finished my lap around the building, so I'm going to head back in now. Thanks for listening to me ramble today.